Hello and welcome back everyone, and today is the final Tiny Table Talk for The Challenge Season 36 Double Agents. It feels like we've been doing this for a long time, thinking back to the beginning of this season when it started in December and even going a month earlier because that's when all the cast and the season was announced. So thinking back to November all the way to now, we have finally done it. The challenge Double Agents is over, and now I ask for your final thoughts on the season as we head on to the off season and the future for the Challenge 37. And everybody came in strong with their final thoughts, and I have a good amount of them that I picked out from my Thursday's review and recap. So without further ado, let's go into a final thought from Nick, who says, "I am so glad that this season is finally over. It's felt like forever that it's been airing. I'm gonna miss Leroy. I only recently got into the challenge and he was always one of my favorites to watch. I hope that they are finally done with the skulls and focus more on the entertainment factor and not so much on always have the best competitors, although that is also a plus." I agree. I think having strong competitors is a plus and really helps with the entertainment factor on the daily and eliminations side of things, but we also need some of those personalities that are more like bringing in some drama. So I definitely agree with you on that. Now let's go into a final thought from Peeps85, who says, "Devin and Kyle's crap talking is so great. This season would have been boring without them. I concur, and they brought in a level of entertainment and really got underneath like Fessy and Josh's like skin and really made them agitated, which was really fun to watch in some of the episodes." Caitlin Hunter says the final thoughts, "I'd love to see Devin versus Fessy and Devin somehow pulls out the win. That would certainly make Fessy eat some humble pie. Now that would be something to watch." A final thought from Chris Waltz says, "Love the season overall, but I miss the days of 60-minute episodes without as much filler. Double Agent sometimes felt like it was struggle to fill 90 minutes. And we just don't need that in the future. Also, no more elimination cliffhangers ever." Yes. I completely agree with your final thoughts here, Chris. Yes. DeAndre Dukes. DeAndre says their final thoughts are Devin was the star of this reunion. DeAndre's final thoughts are that Devin was the star of the reunion, and also I'm gonna miss Leroy on future challenges. Wish him all the best. Devin versus Fessy in the reunion was definitely one of the highlights, or more the highlights of the reunion in general for me as well. Mac's final thoughts are, "We do not need season 37 to be Double Agents 2. This season was dark, lighting-wise, and draining. I'm annoyed so many of the vets from this season are coming back next season. The drama will be stale, and it's less exciting seeing the same faces because we know the relationships and dynamics to expect. Maybe something will happen with the format that will help liven things up, but I agree that sometimes having the same cast can be a little bit more of a buzzkill when we see like the same relationships and everyone trying to like work in the same like groupings that they have had from season after season after season." Cloranda's final thoughts are that she's gonna miss Leroy, but glad he has found love with Killer Cam. Didn't watch the season, but love Angel Cake Entertainment making up for it. Thanks. No, thank you for watching week in and week out, especially when you're not watching the season. But I hope that these videos were entertaining enough and that they were able to like give you all the drama and the information that was in the 90-minute episodes, despite them being only like 15 to 17 minutes. The next final thought comes from Haley, who says, "Overall, I enjoyed this season. I know it was a long one, but I honestly didn't mind it. They began filming the start of COVID, not knowing if pro sports was even going to be broadcasted. I think that we owe MTV and Buna Murray a huge thanks for giving us a longer season. If pro sports games stopped, we would have at least had the challenge as our sports fix. With that said, I think I am ready for the challenge to retire the Red Skull / Gold Skull twist. At the very least, I hope that they modify it. I'm very curious to see what the format will be for next season, and I wonder how quickly season 37 will air after All Stars is done airing. I feel a little nervous or cautiously optimistic that they're already jumping into season 37. I hope that they are able to make the right format changes and tweaking of the Red Skull or Gold Skull twist, that if they are in the next season, that they're able to tighten up some of those loopholes that they were able to be found in this season, and I'm hoping that they are tightening it up for the next season. Naturally, Dunn's final thoughts is, "Thank you so much, Drew, for all that you do. We really appreciate you creating this environment for all those who love the challenge, Survivor, and Big Brother. Also, did you know Lolo is an Olympic athlete?" First of all, thank you so much for the amazing compliment in the beginning of this comment, but I think one thing that I will be taking away from this season is that Lolo is definitely an Olympic athlete. Rhonda's final thoughts are that Fessy is doing damage control because the other players know they can't trust him and he was dragged on the internet. He and CT are physically very similar. The big difference is CT is incredibly intelligent. You don't have to get to the end alone. No one has ever played a completely autonomous game and won. Fessy better hit the library after the gym each day. Yeah, I think Fessy has definitely been put on blast this season. I think he could have a target coming into season 37 or his future seasons, and I think he really needs to tighten up his game and be a little bit more social and broaden his horizons outside of the Big Brother alliances. The next comment comes from Clegg J, who says, final thoughts, Fessy needs to work on teamwork / people skills in order to win a final. It's not all about strength. Completely agreed. It goes with my last comment that I just mentioned. And the next comment comes from Jesse, who says, final thought, the only time I seen Fessy be shy or an introvert was when TJ asked if he wanted to keep going in the finals. I think we need to retire that whole like shy and introvert thing. I think if we learned anything besides Lolo being an Olympic athlete this season is that Fessy is no longer shy or introverted. And I'm talking mainly to Fessy here. If he's watching, I'm mainly talking to Fessy, not the fans. Azaz's final thoughts are CT and Amber B are beasts. Honestly though, I'm gonna miss Leroy. He was the other reason I watched CT being the first. I agree, I'm gonna miss Leroy a ton. And yeah, CT and Amber are very much beasts. And I'm pretty sure most of everyone knew that CT was a beast. I think it's just mainly like, we have to keep that in mind, especially when he's getting that like going from the dad bod to fatherly figure bod. Dominique's final thoughts are people need to stop coming on the challenge and not watching past seasons. The lack of knowledge on past players, daily challenges, and overall gameplay is what's causing a lot of them to lose and or never make it to a final. 100% agree with this final thought. I mean, if you're coming on to do the challenge, get some Paramount Plus, do some like while training on the treadmill or running or doing some like working out, watch some seasons on your phone while working out. Learn about your competitors and the way the format is. Like, what are you doing if you're not taking advantage of every single piece of research that you can do to better yourself in the game? D-Money Raw's final thoughts are, I want the Skull Twist to come back, but only if the team voted into elimination can choose who they want to go against, like in War of the Worlds 1. The way teams can't give up on a daily challenge when they already have their skull. That's actually a very interesting point, and I think that goes into, I'm very hesitant about the Skull Twist, but I understand the appeal of the Skull Twist. It just definitely needs some tweaking up here for the next season and for the future if they're going to keep it in. Elena or Alana's final thoughts are that the DQs and quits ruined the season, but I love Camroy. Production needs to work on editing as it ruined the season and left people questioning the validity of winners, especially with the final. I think these past few seasons have been really messy on the editing portion, and I really wish that they could tighten it up. Aaliyah's final thoughts is that this is the first season I've watched in full in a few years, and I'm not sure if it was worth it. They're taking themselves too seriously as quote-unquote athletes and taking out all of the fun and drama that drew us to the show all these years. I'm hoping for better after the success of All-Stars season. I agree, this season definitely didn't feel as much of a challenge season like it did in the past. I felt like they were really trying to make it more on the lines of competition rather than the drama of the house, and I think it definitely lacked in the drama aspect. Rachel's final thoughts are, imagine being Paulie and seeing your successors run the alliance you created into the ground. I'd be pissed. The BB Alliance will be targeted a lot more now, rightfully so, because these idiots overly relied on their alliance, which was always supposed to be unspoken understanding, instead of creating alliances elsewhere, but still all-knowing BB sticks together and ultimately relies on each other. They just stuck with each other and painted a target on themselves. That's right, they just completely painted a bullseye on their back. John G's final thoughts is, wasn't a big fan of Kyle in his earlier seasons, but have grown to love his commentary. Devin is a pro at verbally destroying anyone who tries to argue or debate him. MTV needs to keep bringing them both back for comic relief. I agree with you on the Kyle. I wasn't a huge fan of him early on in his challenge career, but this season he really showed up, especially in commentary and comedic wise, and I love it. Speaking the truth, 96 says, Final thoughts. Even though it had its dips in quality throughout the season, I think that the ending makes it all worth it. The only thing that truly could have made it better is if Leroy had won. I do hope the skull twist is tweaked for next season, and if it doesn't work, then I think scrapping it for a while might be the best. Also, as much as I love a good redemption story, I honestly hope Fessy never wins a final and continues to fall short, while people like Cam, Corey, Nelson, Big T, Nam, hell, hopefully even Paulie takes home first place before he does. Wow, there's a lot to unpack in that, but I think those were incredible final thoughts, and I think a lot of people would agree with you, especially on the last half. Chris12405, final thoughts. The challenge needs to freshen it up a bit more with the older castmates. I think it could bring a different dynamic versus the newer people that they tend to work in similar methods, which takes away the freshness of the game. But this season wasn't that bad to be the first one during COVID. Fans are wanting more OGs to come back to the game, and I think that would bring in a different dynamic. I think going back to an earlier final thoughts, bringing in the same faces from season after season after season can get stale a bit, especially in the drama portion of the show. So I think there is something to that. Tommy's final thoughts is that Jay made one bad move and now everyone doesn't trust him. It feels like with Jay that they just like find some reason to throw him into the elimination or find some reason to like target him. I mean, I granted this season, yeah, I totally get where he was like totally with Teresa's game and he kind of just like blindly went with it. Then again, everybody was laughing during the reunion, so I don't know if they really can't trust him, but I'm sure that's always going to be in the back of their minds always. Matt's final thoughts are they need future challenges to be in warm locations. They have been freezing the competitors and making water challenges not that entertaining. I hate water challenges. I completely agree. They need to get warmer, and I think that would change the dynamics of the challenge in some way. Luciana's final thoughts are self-awareness is everything. Fessy is messy and blames everything on being an introvert, while Kyle and Devin steal the show because they understand what makes good TV. Also, Leroy will be missed. 100% agree with that. Self-awareness is key, and being humble. Andrew's final thoughts are Fessy is both annoying and boring at the game at the same time, and Kyle and Devin made the season better. Also, Big Brother players can't take a joke, and I'm rooting for Nelson next season. I too am rooting for Scuba Nelly. Chris's final thoughts are that Fessy's apology was not even a sincere apology. He just said sorry if his partners had felt bad, lol, not even sorry for what he did or said. The way he still doesn't respect Aneesa is clear, and I hope they never pair him and CT up for a rival season because I don't want him to win thinking he did something. Gosh, I hope that doesn't happen. Devin is hilarious. Josh, I feel, gets way too defensive for basically a nothing conversation about frozen pizza. I will miss Leroy. I can't wait to see who goes after Fessy next season, and I hope he gets humbled. I also feel like they were being way too harsh for Teresa, only based on Nany's beef with her in X's 2. Kyle and Devin, as I said, is so funny. Devin can sing. This was a good reunion though, and can't wait till next season. That was a lot. That was a lot of final thoughts, but all of them very well said, and I really do hope that they don't bring in like CT and Fessy for a rival season, because one, no. We can't have that. We can't have that whatsoever. If anything, put Fessy and Devin together. That would be much better. 674993132's final thoughts are this season wasn't the best, but with the pandemic, it was special to have those involved went the extra mile to pull it off, and I'm grateful. And then we got to have your videos and commentary afterwards. It was really nice to have this equally lovely and hilarious online community, and I feel a little less isolated. So thanks everyone, but especially to Drew. Thank you so much. This is like one of the best comments I've ever received, and I just really appreciate it because that's exactly what I was going for with my videos, with the comment section, and thank you so much. Kay's final thoughts are this season would have been so much more entertaining without the cold skulls. I think it would definitely have been way different, and there would have been a lot more strategies going on with this season. And would they have thrown the same people over and over again? Like, what would have been the final, and what would that have looked like? Jules' final thoughts are this is a completely unrelated to Double Agents, but just wanted to say that sometimes I just miss the days of the challenge when there was an opening song montage and the contestants would get a Psycho, Watch, or a Zune media player for winning daily challenges. Yes, let's bring back Zune players. I just like rewatched The Island for a future video, and man, I listened to that Shinedown clips over and over again. That got a little annoying. Joseph J says, final thoughts, I don't hate Fessy, but I don't like him either. I wanted to include this final thought because this is like the nicest comment about Fessy that I did see. Stacy's final thoughts, is that Cam and Leroy truly ran this season. I so wish it would have went their way. I'm hoping Cam sees that win in her next season, and Corey and Nelly, they all deserve it. Yes, I'm totally rooting for Corey, Nelly, Scuba Nelly, and Cam when they all come back for their next seasons of the challenge. I definitely think that they are on the verge, especially Corey making back-to-back final appearances. What could he do next season? Could he get that first place? I think it's going to be very interesting to see what's going to happen next season for him. Jonah's final thoughts are, please don't repeat elimination challenges next time. That got very, very boring and annoying throughout this season. Kayla also's final thoughts is about eliminations, which is saying, get creative with the elimination challenge. It's okay to bring back a few favorites, but I don't want to see the Hall Brawl every 3 episodes. Yes, please, let's put the Hall Brawl on a shelf for next season. Let's not even look at it. Let's not lean on it like we did for this season. Let's come up with some new creative ones. Let's bring in some old favorites like Not So Fast once, and maybe the End of Europe elimination, maybe some more puzzles. Let's get some variation in these eliminations and really bring in some fun rather than using the same ones over and over again. Teresa's final thoughts are that I'm sick of seeing overproduction on the daily challenges where hardly anyone can complete, like the cave and the drone. It's not fun to watch. I hope in future seasons they can do similar ones to All-Stars. The All-Stars ones are really, really fun to watch, and they're actually very creative. I get it with the drones and the spy theme, but that one just really fell flat to me as well. Teresa's final thoughts is that Leroy's farewell, I wish they had more footage because that little clips did not do him justice. He did so much in many seasons, and I wish they had bananas in the clip like the OG he'd done seasons with. Oh, and who else was living for that music for the reunion and the Shoe to West Head classic? It was a real shame that we didn't get a better montage or more variety of clips within the Leroy's farewell montage. I think that it was a real shame that they didn't have more in his goodbye messages and reached out to say like Teresa, who was paired up with him and he was did so many seasons with, and she was an ex with him. They didn't have any of his past partners, bananas. I think it was a real shame. It was a real missed opportunity. And I've been working on a video for Leroy here for a couple of weeks now, and I'm hoping to get it out in the next week or so. I just want it to be perfect, and I'm hoping to do Leroy justice with my video that I'm going to be putting out for him for his legacy that he has left on the challenge. And the final thought comes from Brandon Sai, who says, final thoughts, I really enjoyed all your videos recapping these challenge seasons. You will be missed until challenge season 37. Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you enjoyed the videos and the recaps, but you don't have to miss me because I'm still going to be doing content and challenge videos through the off season to the challenge 37. I'm going to be coming out with a ton of stuff. I'm making 3 to 4 videos a week, so you do not have to miss me. I'll still be coming out with content, a ton of content, both challenge and non-challenge related. So please keep watching and keep joining me, and thank you so much for everyone who watched me throughout these weeks, and clicking on these videos and commenting. I had the best time. It's always so surreal every time a season is ending, especially one that has been so long, like Double Agents. I feel like there's one point in the seasons where it's just like, oh, this is never gonna end. And then ultimately we always come to the end, and I'm just like, how did we get here? This seems like we went through so many weeks, so many months to get here, and now we're here, and it's kind of like, it hits you in some way that this is the final video for the season. So I just want to say again, thank you so much for everyone's love and support throughout this season. And again, I will be coming out with tons of content throughout the off season leading into the challenge 37. I'll be making challenge videos every single week. I'll be coming out with 3 to 4 videos every single week, both challenge related and non-challenge related. So you don't have to miss me. I'll be right here every single week. Thank you so much again for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button and leave me a comment. Just whatever you want to say. Whatever you want to say about the challenge, whatever final comment you want to say about the season, what you're hoping for the challenge 37, what your plans are for the off season. Did you get Paramount Plus? Are you watching All Stars? Are you hanging out, going to be going over a binge watch of all the challenge seasons. What challenge season are you going to be watching next? Let me know that in the comment section below. Also, I'm still going to be covering All Stars throughout the week, so join me on those review and recaps and Tiny Table Talks until that season is over. But thank you so much for watching again, and I'll be back really, really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.